structure, but I'm still seeing a lot of open flame, a lot of flame shooting out of the windows, both on the west and east flanks of this structure.
Hi, I'm Engineer Derek Irwin.
Hi, I'm Captain Drew Smith, and we're here to talk to you today about roof operation watchouts.
With the decline in structure fire activity over the last couple of decades, few of us have the benefit of extensive fireground experience, particularly when it comes to roof operations. We have to rely on training and lessons learned from our mentors who do have the experience.
With so many personnel new to their rank, this makes an already dangerous operation much riskier. The vertical ventilation watchouts are designed to guide us for conducting roof operations in a manner that is both effective and safe.
Don't rely on experience alone. These watchouts have been developed from several of our department's own injuries and near misses. They are meant to serve as a guideline for developing your situational awareness and are not meant to prohibit ventilation operations. This is not a checklist. There's no minimum or maximum number of watchouts that should make you stop or continue your operation.
When the decision is made to vertically ventilate in coordination with fire attack, beware of the scenario which several of these watchout situations appear. Don't let inexperience, over-aggressiveness, or being in a hurry compromise your judgment or your crew's safety.
These watchouts are divided into 3 phases: before you get on the roof, while you're traveling the roof, and while you're cutting.
You should utilize this list as part of your risk management procedure, taking a moment at the outset of each phase of your operation to make a go or no-go decision, or to abort your operation altogether.
Let's start off by looking at some of the things you should consider when making your go or no-go decision before getting up on a roof. So our first watch out here is lightweight construction or construction unknown. Lightweight roofs can fail in as little as 5 minutes when the structural members are exposed to fire. This prohibits ventilation operations directly over the seat of the fire and limits the amount of time you'll have to work. These factors need to be taken into consideration and weighed against fire conditions when making your initial go or no-go decision. If you're not certain what kind of roof you're on, then construction is unknown and you should treat it as a lightweight roof until you know otherwise.
If you're seeing fire through the roof on your initial size up, then your structural members in the roof have been weakened prior to your arrival. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get up on the roof and ventilate in the right place at the right time in communication and coordination with fire attack. But when making your plan, you must take into account that you'll have limited time and limited options on where you work. Be sure to also consider interior fire conditions when making your go or no-go decision.
If, during the time it takes for your crew to get your initial ladders in place, you observe rapidly deteriorating fire conditions on the interior of the structure, recognize that may eventually translate to deteriorating conditions on the roof. Whereas fire through the roof gets us all into a heightened sense of awareness, suspected attic fires can lull us into a sense of complacency. Often the initial size up will indicate light smoke coming from the eaves or attic vents and a clear interior of the structure. However, if there's fire in the attic, the structural members in the roof have been exposed to fire prior to your arrival, even if there's no fire showing from the exterior of the structure. Attics are large open spaces full of both fuel and oxygen that can support rapid fire development. Because ventilation points are limited, a large volume of fire can be concealed within an attic, all the while weakening the integrity of the roof despite little showing from the exterior. You'll have limited time to operate on either lightweight or conventional roofs, and failure can occur with little or no warning. Any situation where you suspect that the structural members in the roof are exposed to fire poses dangers. One of those in particular is garage fires. Garages are often unfinished, leaving the structural members in the walls and roof fully exposed. As a result, you should suspect that the structural members are weakened on any garage fire. And the same is true of any commercial structure where you suspect there's no ceiling.
The immediate hazard when you're dealing with a steep roof or climbing angle is the risk of falling. The hazard that's often missed stems from the time-intensive nature of roof ladder operation.
For even the best trained crews, placing ground and roof ladders and then working off the roof ladder is going to take extra time.
So when considering ground ladder placement, you have to take into account extra time needed to set up and complete your operation. and weigh those factors against fire conditions. A spot that looks perfect when you step off the rig might be totally untenable by the time you have your roof ladder in place. Be sure to adjust your trigger points to take into account how long it will take you to get off the roof when conducting this kind of operation.
Tile roofs can mask large areas of structural collapse beneath, and the tiles themselves are a major dead load. Because of this, tiles need to be cleared in order to sound a safe path of travel and conduct ventilation operations. This is time intensive, so you'll have to weigh fire conditions, roof construction, and the time needed to complete your operation when deciding where to ventilate. Number 1, lightweight roof construction or roof construction unknown. Knowing our district and taking a look at this roof, we can probably safely assume that it's a conventional roof. Moving on to number 2, fire through the roof or rapidly deteriorating fire conditions. Doesn't look like there's any fire through the roof, but looks like we do have rapidly deteriorating fire conditions with vent point ignition at the back and heavy smoke rolling out the front, so that's something for us to keep in mind. Number 3 is suspected attic fire. Pretty safe to say it's not an attic fire. Looks like a well-seated fire on the interior of this structure. Number 4, steep roof. This roof doesn't look too steep, but it's got a bit of a pitch to it. You can see the firefighters there sort of sitting down on the roof to get their job done, so it's something for us to take into consideration with how long it's going to take to work up on this roof. Number 5, tile roof. It's a little bit hard to tell, but doesn't look like this is a tile roof, so we're probably good to go there. So put all those watch-outs together. This looks like a situation where we can safely get on the roof, vertically ventilate, taking into account the deteriorating fire conditions and the difficulty we might have on a steep roof.